Hello everybody, I am Sparky the Elephant, and I am doing a new series where I speed paint famous people as gods or goddesses as the best as I can. Mind you, this is the very first speed paint, or I don't think it's the first speed paint I've done, but this is definitely the first portrait I have done entirely on a computer. So I have done the basic face shape with the lines along with the face, and so I know where things are going to be. And then I draw the hair, as it's a very basic shape that I need. I forgot to tell you, this is a model from the Philippines that I am doing. Her name's Danica. She looks very much like my girlfriend, and I asked my girlfriend what celebrity I should do because I wanted to compare a celebrity to a god or a goddess in my own terms, just to draw them as one. She didn't understand, and I said, what about your the model you really like that looks a bit like you? She continues to tell me that the model looks absolutely nothing like her. Sorry, I just hit the microphone. Absolutely nothing like her, which I just call bull. She looks just like her. Even my friends at home agree. I found drawing her nose fairly annoying, as the size of the nostrils align up with the eyes, and I didn't quite get that, so I drew some lines down to make sure that I got the nose shape the way I wanted it. So the mouth, which we are getting up to, I found to be the most agitatingly annoying part to draw, as I generally just draw cartoons. I don't really draw people or things as realistically as I can because I find it fairly boring. So the teeth really got to me, as I can't stand doing teeth. So yeah, they still look. I found them to be quite horrifying. As we all probably saw, I had some basic colors on the side, so I can copy those colors. The basic skin that she has, her base skin color, along with her base eye and hair color and lip color. And I found I was doing an animation of Legend of Chorus, which I still haven't completed, and I found that the coloring part was the most annoying part because I couldn't use the fill tool the bucket tool to fill it all in, because it just filled the whole screen and it really annoyed the shit out of me. I mean, it just annoyed me. You didn't hear that word from me. So I decided to smear it around, do some smudging, but the part that really got to me is that the reason why I don't like painting and doing stuff so much on computer is because it's absolutely nothing like doing it in real life. In real life, I would get my paint palette, I would mix paints together, and when I'm painting on the canvas itself, it's still mixing, which is something I was used to, and that doesn't happen on the computer. And at least I haven't found a brush that does that on the computer, which I have found one in Microsoft Paint that did, but nothing that on Krita that does that. So I'm just doing the hair, and the hair wasn't easy. I couldn't find a brush that made all the streaks in the hair that become the light that hits the hair. I couldn't find something that did that. So now we're up to the teeth. The teeth I found very, very annoying as such, due to the color and obviously the shapes. I couldn't get the shapes the way I wanted them to. I made them too big for Danica's mouth. I keep saying I apologize for that. I need to speak louder as well. Yeah, it's just it's up full blast. I don't know why it gets so quiet. So I found the shape of the mouth and the colouring of the mouth to be the most annoying part. I wanted to get that out of the way as soon as I possibly could, but that didn't exactly happen as much. It was good doing some dark colours. I prefer doing dark colours over light colours. And Danica had a mixture of both dark and light, which was very satisfying to do once I found a paint brush that mixes, or it's the most realistic one I can get to a real paintbrush without the brush strokes as much. So I am attempting to do all the teeth and the teeth shapes. As I can't think of everything to say, this vlog was meant to be a vlog where I spoke about life and the universe, but instead I'm not very good at doing that, so I decided that I wanted to do something similar to the theme of what my friends and I are making. I'm animating it. I'm doing practically everything except he would help me out with the scripts, and what it's about gods and stuff, so I wanted to keep the gods theme into continuing on with uploading more frequently, as my roommate suggested that I should upload more frequently, as uploading more frequently gives you more views, I've been told. I don't know how true that is because of how YouTube is, so I'm going to try and upload at least once a week. So we're now on the shading of around the nose and the cheekbones. This part was okay once I figured out which brush I should be using and the density of the brush I should be using. As I found that I need to adjust it the size manually, but the opacity came in with the pressure of the pen that I was using, which is more realistic for how I paint in real life, which made it much easier to do. And I ended up sticking to that pen for most of the part. So I should probably talk about who Danica is from what I've been told, as I don't really know a whole lot about her, except she enjoys anime and she's very family oriented, as I've been told by my girlfriend. And of course, you've gotta love a weeb. Especially, yeah, anime is pretty great. You gotta admit that anime is pretty great with the art and sometimes the stories. Not always, as it can get pretty gross. So I found myself testing out on the brushes, in which throughout painting Danica, as I couldn't find any that worked well for me up until, like I was telling you about the brush that I started using, and that brush was fantastic. It's not coming up on the screen because it was in a different tab for some reason. I thought that was very weird, but I was able to see more of the brushes if I had it in a different tab anyway. Honestly, I don't know how people vlog. It's very difficult to think of what to say, and I'm assuming they edit everything out all the time. So if anyone doesn't know, I still can't figure out how to pronounce her name properly, so I'll see if I can get her name up so I can pronounce it the way it's meant to be pronounced. Let's get it up because I got it on Instagram. Danica Magpantay. I can't pronounce the name, so I apologize if I get it wrong. Yeah, so she's well known for modeling for Ford, as there's not a whole lot about her. I couldn't find a whole lot about her except my girlfriend is a big fan. And so she even, well, I can't say she draws her because she's drawing herself, and they both look very much alike. The difference in their looks would be their teeth shape, as my girlfriend has a bit of an overbite, and Danica doesn't have an overbite. That's the only difference I can actually find. They both look very, very similar. So as we can see now, I am officially using that paintbrush a bit more, and it's got more of a, what it felt like a dry brush when you use on a canvas almost. It's got a little bit of a faint brush stroke that you could possibly see, and it felt more realistic, and it was easier to use for me doing a computer painting. Yeah, I found painting. I've said it many times before. I found painting on the computer very, very difficult, and I found her mouth difficult because I just thought it made her look horrifying. No matter what I did, it didn't look anything like her. Yeah, it just looked nothing like her. No matter what I did, I couldn't get her lips the right shade. I couldn't get her teeth the right size, and I couldn't get her mouth the right shape from the picture I was copying. And mind you, I think it was one of her earlier pictures, from her earlier modelling years, from earlier in this decade. So I think she might have been 17, 18, maybe early 20s, as she is officially in her mid or late 20s now. I think she's 26. Yeah, I think she's 26 now. I could be wrong. Yes, I think she might have been. I think the picture I took might have been from 2012, when she would have been 19 then, I think. Yeah. And yeah, it's a very, very nice picture, and I couldn't resist not using that one compared to her newer ones now. Still looks fantastic, but there was something very... It's more of a beauty standard for where I'm from, Australia, and it, yeah, to me, it just looked fantastic. So I wanted to use that picture. I'll be getting to the god that I'm comparing her to a bit later, but so far I'm just trying to do my best to talk about Danica, as, yeah, my girlfriend asked me to do that. So the texturing of the nose, once I got the brush I needed, along with the colours I needed, it became much easier to use, and it became much easier to contrast. I don't know if I said that right, but it doesn't really matter. It started looking more like a painting to me, like a right cheekbone. It started looking more like a painting to me, which was exactly what I was after to begin with. And just making sure I get the shades correct was a fairly difficult process, I found. What I also found, which is why I couldn't get it to work properly, was that I did the colouring of the lips on the wrong layer. And doing the colouring of the lips on the wrong layer wasn't a good idea. I didn't even notice I did that until a bit later, that I did it on the wrong layer. And I had to end up deleting that layer, so I had to redo the lips again. And yeah, as I kept saying, that was a very, very painfully annoying parts of painting her. Besides the hair, as I couldn't get the hair right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pause the recording. Fuck that. No, they can go. Okay, so I started practicing with the brushes to try and get the brush that I wanted to make the hair strokes the way I wanted it, which never ended up working, as all of the brushes seem to have fairly thick strokes. And I went back and redid the shadowing of the eye, her right eye, along with her eyebrow and her cheekbone and stuff like that, so I can try and get it the way I want it, to the way I could get it, the most accurate way I can get it to. And it started looking a bit more like a painting after I did that. I also found, looking at it now, recording it now, is that her face is a bit too wide. She had a fairly thin face, and I made it too wide, and I'm a bit annoyed about that. And I also realised that she actually had eyelashes, which I didn't notice in the painting, the picture before. That she has a painting, what do you call it? Eyelashes. Eyelashes. I didn't realise that there was any eyelashes there, so I ignored that part until I looked back. And yeah, she has very, very dark eyes, so doing irises wasn't easy to make it look the way they were meant to do it, because people from the Philippines and Asia in general tend to have very, very dark eyes. My eyes are, I think, hazel. They can show a bit of green, they can show a bit of blue, and they can be brown or amber. Hers are just black, like my girlfriend's. Very, very dark. Which would be good for the sun. Not gonna, I guess light won't hurt your eyes anywhere near as much. So I was fairly satisfied with the shading process after I got the correct brush. And that I'm afraid talking, just like, I don't know how people vlog, honestly. It's difficult to be yourself sometimes when you're recording for YouTube, which is why I prefer voice acting, because I get to be someone completely different. And you will see that more of that shortly of my series that I'm been making with my friend. As we can see here, now I have to redo the lips, and redoing the lips was a lot easier than I expected, because it had a better shape to it, which is what I was after anyway. But it was still annoying that I had to redo the lips, and I didn't want to redo the lips. And after removing the black lines for the teeth are looking a lot better, but they still don't look anywhere near as good as the picture I was copying. You would have seen the picture this before, but I was trying to avoid doing that, but I got lazy. And yeah, now you're going to see what Danica looks like, and you could look her up anyway. She's a very famous Philippine model and runway model. She's from does the runway stuff, and yeah, which is pretty cool. Not something I'll ever be able to do because I'm ugly as all hell. Yep, so I'm doing the nostrils, and I'm working on that to make sure the nostril looks as realistic as it can, like very Philippine. Yeah. Anyway, trying to make sure that I have that fleshy look. So when you look at skin, you can always see that redness, a bit of a glow to it when a light hits it. And I was able to do that on Blender with my models and stuff, if you ever watch my show reel. But I don't think I'm successful in doing it on paint, on Critter. And that annoyed me, that I wasn't able to accurately do that. But it will just take practice, I guess. I like that she had a very limited eyebrows. It became easier to draw on, as it had to do with like a little tiny thin, like faint streak. What my eyebrows used to look like when I was a little kid. Yeah, so now we're going to doing it. I'm going to see if I pronounce the name again. Magpantay, and the goddess that I chose, and I went through quite a few, was Tala. As we can see here, I failed at doing all the face. Like, there were some parts that were clearly see-through that I wasn't aware of. So I ended up deleting part of the background so I can keep that glow with her face without making it purple. And yeah, I chose Tala. I went through the idea of maybe I should choose Venus or Aphrodite. I went through a Slavic one came through my mind, but I thought that would be a bit offensive to Slavic people, as she's very sacred to their old traditions. So I chose. I went through a lot of goddesses to choose for Danica. And the one thing that didn't come up from Wikipedia, because I was looking for goddesses of beauty and family, as she's very family oriented and very beautiful. I ended up thinking, well, screw it, she's from the Philippines, I should do a Philippine goddess. And the Philippine goddess that came up, that seemed to match her personality from what I know the most of about her, because there's not a whole lot about her that came up on the internet, like practically nothing, to be honest, was that she seems like she fit Tala the most, the goddess of the stars. So I made her the goddess of the stars, and my girlfriend was very happy about that. She thought it was great that she's going to be the goddess of the stars. So Tala, if you know anything about Philippine gods and goddesses, she has 2 siblings. I think they're both sisters, goddess of the moon and goddess of the morning. I tried making... There was nothing about Tala as well, because she's not a very well-known goddess. So I started looking her up on images to see if I can find any images that represent her, and there wasn't a whole lot. So I started looking for traditional Tala paintings and stuff. And the traditional ones came up with a naked woman, or it'll be a woman in a warrior outfit where her breast is still showing, or stuff like that. Something I can't show on YouTube. And I know for a fact that Danica is conservative, as she is from the Philippines, so she's probably Christian and wouldn't appreciate being made to be naked anyway. For a complete stranger, it'd be weird. Imagine someone painting you as a naked person. It'd be weird. Sorry. So I started looking for other things, and there was a silk dress one, and there was ones in a warrior outfit where her chest was covered, and it was a silky looking dress. So I decided to just paint what she's wearing, but make it as silky as I can, because she's wearing a woolen jumper, but I couldn't figure out how to paint silk. So I decided to make her wear her woolen jumper, but instead I'll make it starry and look a bit like the galaxy and the stars. So that way Tala is wearing stars, and Danica's wearing stars. I thought that would be a better idea. So yeah, I noticed that a lot of the paintings and things about Tala that had a golden crown that she had wearing that was made of stars. So I decided to make my own design about the crown and stuff like that, to see if I can make it with the stars. And no, I couldn't cheat it, which really annoyed me. So I ended up just drawing the outlines. I didn't want to color it in. I just couldn't be bothered. It was 1 a.m. I had enough procrastinating. I wanted to get this up and going as quickly as I can, as I wanted to put more videos of what I'm doing out there for people to watch. So instead I just drew a crown to make sure that Tala was wearing a crown. My friend and girlfriend didn't like it so much, and you might not either, so that's fine though. Yeah. So yeah, there wasn't a whole lot I could find about them. But I really, really hope Danica looks at this and goes, "Oh, that's nice. At least they didn't make me look like a goblin." Always sign your work. Just gotta make sure I sign my work. Yeah. This was my first ever painting I did on the computer. And I've never done a painting on a computer before. I've done 3D modeling, I've done animating, but never a painting. So I just wanted to say, mahal kita, salamat sa panonood. I don't know how to pronounce that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching.